The recording process for competitions presents many challenges, especially now while we seemingly have endless amounts of time to get the perfect take. I've recently gone through a lot of trial and error while recording for various competitions, and I would love to share with you some of the things that I have learned during the process. If you are able, begin recording several days in advance of the competition deadline. It is good to get in the habit of recording your run-throughs during practice sessions as you begin to complete the learning process, so that you are able to listen back and see if your musical intention is coming through, and also notice things that you are able to work on in your next practice session. Begin setting up your recording device in advance, and start recording as early as possible just in case you get a take that you're super happy with. At first, start by recording a run-through at the end of your practice session. Listen back to this run-through and ask yourself, are my articulations coming across clearly? Are my dynamic contrasts coming through in the recording as I intend them to? If they're not, these can serve as great practice tools to guide your next practice session. As you begin to record more seriously, I like to schedule recording times throughout my day, especially now during unstructured periods of time. And this helps me prepare for the recording as I would prepare for a live performance. As I'm preparing for these scheduled recording sessions, I make sure that I go through my full warm-up routine in the morning, and then I set aside some time to spot check some sections that I'm having difficulty with. I'll go through and I'll practice these sections slowly, and then I'll gradually speed them up to tempo, but I make sure that I am not practicing any mistakes beforehand. I also like to set aside some time to do some mental practice before my recording sessions. For me, this includes score studying with some of my favorite recordings, just to get myself inspired to play. And it also includes some positive visualizations, where I visualize myself playing at my absolute highest level and feeling amazing while I'm doing it. As soon as you begin feeling frustrated during a recording session, step away from the music and come back later. This is a likely indication that you are in need of a break, and pushing through this frustration will only lead to an increase in tension in your playing. Do not burn yourself out by running this piece over and over again to the point of exhaustion during a recording session. If you start early enough, there is no reason that you need to burn yourself out during the process. Stay positive and take care of your mental and physical health. Once you have narrowed down your recordings to the ones that you feel best represent your playing, you may find yourself in a position where you are having trouble deciding between a few recordings that sound very similar. Keep in mind a few things while you are sorting through takes. 1. Which recording is the most accurate in terms of correct notes and rhythms? 2. Which recording is the most in tune and in time? And 3. Which recording best shows your musical intention and your musical personality? If two of your recordings are very similar, ask yourself a few questions about each. Which has the most captivating opening? If there are any mistakes, we're only human and it happens. How quickly in the recording do they occur? You may want to consider asking a few friends or a teacher to listen between a few different takes that you are considering submitting and ask them to indicate their favorite. If everybody or the majority of people pick the same recording, that is the one that you should submit. You can also listen back to each recording from two different perspectives. One as yourself and one as a competition judge. If it helps, you can also make a list of pros and cons for each recording if you are having trouble deciding. It is really easy to experience burnout after your first few recording sessions. If you notice this happening, step away from the music for a short period of time and come back to it. Create a few intentional distractions for yourself, such as beginning to work on a different piece that you really enjoy working on, or do something completely different. Schedule a Zoom call with friends, do some baking, go for a walk, or watch your favorite show on Netflix. It can be easy to become tunnel visioned about getting the perfect take while recording for competitions. If you're limited on time and you find yourself getting very frustrated and burnt out, take a short break and try some constructive rest. This can include finding a quiet place and lying on your back with your feet flat on the ground and your arms resting by your sides. Focus on your breath and release stress, self-doubt, and negativity each time that you exhale. You can do this for 5 to 10 minutes at a time, and sometimes I like to listen to a few of my favorite recordings of the piece while I'm in this period of rest. This helps to remind me of the bigger musical picture and allows me to become less focused on the details while I am playing. Focus on imagery and characters that you wish to portray in the recording and breathe deeply, releasing tension. This should help you feel more relaxed and confident when you try again. Do not be afraid to take some time in between each movement to get recentered, just as you would during a live performance. Treat each recording session as closely to a live performance as possible, and imagine that you are playing for an audience full of people that you feel truly supported and encouraged by. Remember that the perfect run-through does not exist. Aim for your personal best, and remember to have fun and enjoy sharing your music with others.